Welcome back to another episode of the RacePlazaMedia podcast. This is season 2, episode 3.
Ooh, nice.
So today we are going to talk about, of course, the final week and final stages of the Dakar Rally.
Yes.
But before we get into that, we are going to talk about the San Diego race of Supercross.
Yeah.
Sorry. My throat was doing something weird. And I was like, oh, let me save that. So I only watched the 450 main race, essentially.
Yes.
I watched like the last 15 minutes of it. So
majority of it. You caught majority of it. I ended up watching both main races. I half watched the heats. But the cool thing also was that the majority of the main race we were able to watch with two of our friends. And it was nice because neither of them had watched the race before.
And I think your friend John, he knew about Supercross
a little bit, but mostly because I had explained it to him during the 250 heat. And then so when you came with your friend, it was like nice to watch it with others for once, because usually it's just the two of us, unless we're at the stadium, of course. So it was nice to have, obviously we imprinted our thoughts of different riders
beliefs
exactly onto them. But it was nice to still watch it
together
in a group. And I'm so looking forward to next weekend when we're going to be attending Anaheim too. Not just the two of us, but we also invited one of our friends who has also I don't think she will probably go in blank. Like, she will not have watched the race. She'll go in just for the experience, which I'm excited for her to have that experience. So I'm so thrilled for what's coming up. But let's talk about this weekend's races.
Yes, and I will say you're gonna talk about the 250, and I already have a controversial opinion, and I don't think you're gonna like it.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Here we go. Well, anyways, the big thing that happened during the 250 is we had of course, last weekend we had Max Anstey taking the win. The British driver who had a great start to the season last year, who was injured, and then so now he's back, and I very much like him, and
he's very likable.
Yeah, super likable. Even his post-race interviews are like just, he seems like a cool guy. So him coming into this race, I mean, we have a lot of different people competing for the 250, of course. The main guy is, of course, Hayden Deegan. He didn't have the best race last weekend, so he had a little bit of, I wouldn't say he had a chip on his shoulder, because he thinks very highly of himself, so he knows he can do well. But it was just really up to him to have a better start. This weekend's race, of course, we also wanted to keep an eye on like Cameron McAdoo, Levi Kitchen, Chance Hymas, Ryder DiFrancesco. So there's a lot of people to look out for, and all of them made it into the main race, which is, of course, exciting.
And also, in a way, expected, I
would say. But of course, you never know, depending on the track, and so on and so forth. So anyways, going into the race, we had Max Anstey going out into the lead ahead of his teammate Hayden Deegan, and then
his teammate.
They're riding for the same. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're in the same team. And then so they were battling with each other. And then, is this the moment where you're having a different opinion than I am? So basically, what happened? It was a matter of time when Hayden would attack Max to take over the lead. It was. Excuse me. It was still early into the race. I think it was like 12 minutes or so left of a 15-minute race. So it was like just started. Of course, you want to do an overtake sooner than later. What are you laughing about?
Imagine you saying there's 20 minutes left in a 15-minute race.
But like it
happened in the warm-up.
Of course, you want to overtake sooner than later, because you also don't want to lose track. You want to have the best track position possible, and also you just don't want to fall behind. So I get that Hayden wanted to fight for first position as soon as possible. However, I'm not a fan of how he went into it. You know, he went into, they were taking this sharp or tight left-hand corner, or almost like U-turn situation that they do. And then Max was on the outside. Hayden Deegan was coming on the inside, cutting him off essentially, which is obviously totally fine. But then his rear tire banged into Max Anstey's front wheel, and Max ended up falling over and then losing several positions. So he ended up in 5th overall, which of course hurt him in terms of points for the championship. Obviously,
He's not first anymore, is he?
Correct. He's now second behind Deegan by 1 point. And it's still early in the season, but the 250s don't have as many races, so all the points do count or matter in the Supercross championship. So that moment was really the biggest upset for me personally. I was, because I was like, it's early into the race. It's early into the season. You didn't have to go in with so much force or aggression into that overtake. And then I watched Max Anstey's post-race interview also, and to me it sounded like he was very much, one, surprised with how much aggression Hayden went into this overtake, and then 2, it seemed to me, but obviously it could be me interpreting stuff into this, it's because he kept saying, yeah, fair play, fair play, fair play. And I'm like, okay, it sounds like he will keep this in mind for the future and maybe not play as quote unquote nice. I don't think he would go to an extreme, because from the impression that I have of Max Anstey, it's not that he would take it that far, but I also don't know his past career. So maybe somebody out there will educate me about his aggro past that I don't know about.
Exactly.
But it sounded like it changed maybe his perspective moving forward of how he will approach things, and then just he now has an understanding of what he has to deal with moving forward. So now,
yeah, I mean, I get it. What you're saying, I seen a clip of it, and it was only one angle, and I'm gonna be honest, it didn't seem that egregious to me. It's like, it is like, if it's teammate on teammate, it's like, it is like, do you have to be this aggressive? But I don't think it was as egregious. I thought in 450, actually, later on in the race, there was a situation that was worse than that. It's just that no one fell off the bike. It wasn't nearly as aggressive. I do think that Max his like really reduced speed, and then standing on that incline didn't help that he then, toppled over.
Of course. And I'm not saying that this was now the most aggressive thing that Hayden has done.
Yes, exactly. And this is like me going in with that thing, like, because I know that something happened, and then I expected the worst, because like his behavior last year with Joe Shimoda was worse.
Yes.
Which is, it's not, what a terrible standard.
Yes,
right?
with him, and then with the Kiwi also, I forgot his name right now.
Yeah. I know.
So there's
the really young kid, right?
Exactly.
16-year-old, which is also like, bro, it's like, I don't know. It's this whole thing. And I mean, I don't like Hayden Diggins, so he can do whatever and I'll hate it. But it is like, I was like, oh, it's not as egregious as I thought it would be. It's probably also me going in thinking like he came in with, like,
he brought a bat to the race.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Smashed his tire. No,
exactly.
and I'm also like, when I had rewatched it, I was like, okay, it's not the end of the world. And they, like, obviously it could have been worse, but I do think he could have approached it differently. I don't think it was fully intentional.
Yeah.
But I also think that he just didn't think about it. For him, the goal was to overtake, which I understand. And then for him, it's just like, I want to be first no matter the consequences, you know? And other, just very quickly so I can finish my thought, is other riders, I think, might have approached it just a little bit differently, because, I mean, there could also be consequences if you hit somebody else that you go down.
I mean, he broke his collarbone this way at the end of last season, right?
Exactly.
And I think, honestly, in a way, this is maybe for Max also a really blessing in disguise, because I don't think, I can't recall them fighting on track like this before. To be fair, last year I didn't follow it as closely, Supercross, so maybe there were situations, but obviously it was more Joe against Hayden last year. Especially in the outdoor season, because indoor season he ended up like breaking a finger, remember? But I think it's like good, like, hey, this is the expectation going in, because I think Joe knew at that point already what to expect, right? And then this also like kind of was also to Deegan's detriment, because especially in that race where he ended up breaking his collarbone, he was so focused on, instead of just passing Joe, it was like, oh, I want to knock him off the race. I want to be a dirty rider. And I think now Max knowing, it's like, oh, he's potentially gonna take it even dirtier. Like, now I know, and I will, like, he will have to take like preventative measures that will then also hurt Hayden, because like, if that move doesn't work, like if he's able to avoid it, right, then Hayden is just losing time, right? And so in a way, this is like him really, hopefully, being able to prepare himself going into this next weekend. If like this happens again, this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
And to like prevent this, because Hayden is not going to stop. And I don't even know, like, I mean, though, last year he ended up losing positions and points in the overall championship, but he didn't care because he already knew that he wasn't going to win it.
Yeah.
So he was like, I'm just going to try to ruin it for someone else.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's at least how it looked, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. And then, so I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it was like, I think it's a wake up call in a way for Max, just so he knows now how to approach the rest of the season.
Put on
notice.
Yeah,
exactly. So we'll see how he approaches it moving forward, because I think, at least the way it looks now, the two of them will have several battles moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will have Cameron McAdoo in the mix for sure, because he ended up coming in second.
Oh yeah, can you tell me this?
Yeah, so first was Hayden Deegan, Cameron McAdoo came in second, Michael Moseyman came in third, Levi Kitchen fourth, Max Anstey fifth, and then sixth was Chance Hymas, followed by Ryder D. Okay, so like all of the top ones that we are keeping an eye on made it to the top. The big upset, I think, was Hunter Yoder. He got caught at the beginning with Levi Kitchen going into the first turn. Both of them went down. So Levi had an excellent race after that, making it back up all the way up to fourth.
He went down too?
Yes.
It's unfortunate because last race he also had a crash, right?
I don't remember off the top of my head right now. But then Hunter ended up having to go and see the mechanics too, so it was just
once you have to see the mechanics, you're done, dude.
Yeah, and then he ended up not finishing the race.
Yeah, once you have to see the mechanics.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of a bummer. It was, I mean, I'm still looking forward to the 250 West Coast. I'm hoping that at least Max Anstey will bring some competition to Hayden Deegan. Hayden ended up winning by over 7.5 seconds at the end. He was leading at one point closer to 10 or over 10 seconds, but then he lost something towards the end. Not sure if he made a mistake or whatever happened, because we didn't get to see it. But yeah, so we'll see moving forward how it goes. Like I said, Hayden is currently leading
by just a point, though.
Overall championship by a point. Max Anstey second with 42 points, and then Chance Hymas is third with 38. But yeah, we're in round 2 right now. I think. Is it West Coast? It's like 7 races.
And then they switch?
I mean,
the break is?
No, because they don't.
Oh, you mean overall?
Overall. Oh. Yeah. Because they
wouldn't it be like they do 2 races where all of them are together, right?
It's 3. I think it's 3 Triple Crown events, right? Let me open up the calendar and take a look. See here. Why are you being? Give me a second. I'm trying to open up this, but if I have the website on like half, it won't show me properly. It's so stupid.
That's annoying.
Yeah, because we have a couple more end of February is when the first East Coast race will happen. But before that, I'm pretty sure we have a Triple Crown event. I'm trying to see it.
It's not Anaheim 2 a Triple Crown?
No, not this year.
Oh.
Which I was bummed, but also I'm glad we get to just see like a regular...
A different version, because we watched a Triple Crown 2 years ago.
Without knowing that it was a Triple Crown.
Without even knowing, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it was our first time going into it, and it was like surprising. But anyways, so let's talk about a little bit about the 450 main event.
Tell me about the start.
Oh my God. The start was big upset. So you see the lineup, and you weren't home yet, but I was talking to my friend who I was hanging out with. I was explaining as they were showing, like, if they were, what do they call it? Something along the berm or something like that, where they like show different riders. And I'm like, okay, we like him. We're okay about him, like giving my thoughts on the riders that they were highlighting, and also just sharing the little bit of knowledge I have about them.
I mean, it's like we have like 4 riders that we like in a 450 a lot. I think, like, obviously Kenny #1.
Yes.
We like Eli. We like Jason.
Yeah. I mean, I like a lot of them.
Yeah.
Some of them I don't really have
Chase quite a lot.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of them that I don't have an opinion really on because I don't.
There's no one we actually dislike.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to don't like as much Cooper Webb now.
Yeah, but not in a way where like how I dislike
Deegan.
Hayden.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. So there's exactly. So that's
unreasonable. Honestly, never met the dude. It's like I just fucking hate him, dude.
But like yes, but it's literally what it is. Like there's a lot of people that we like more than others, but nobody that we hate or strongly
also
dislike.
seems like to be doing something unhinged stuff, also off track, and the way they act outside.
Exactly.
I think they're also all a little bit older. I know some people were hating a little bit on Jet in his first season because he was also young and cocky, but he also delivered and he won the Supercross.
And then there was this big moment, remember, in I think it was the first race even, where Jet and Jason got together and then they were like, grabbed the helmet.
Grabbed the helmet,
exactly.
Yes.
So that was like some drama.
And then I was like, oh, Jet, the newcomer messing with the veterans and stuff like that. But
Jet is not even here right now. No. So, but yeah. So
I don't have anything against Jet.
No. And then so going in, of course, Eli had the red plate because he had won last race. So of course, just continuing to see how he would fare on the new bike. We've had, of course, a lot of people who switched
different track,
different track, different manufacturers or teams this year. But then, so we're going along and explaining him all the different riders. And then, so we have, they're all in position. And then suddenly, I forgot who it was next to, I think it was RJ Hampshire, maybe. He was on the bike next to Chase Sexton, and he just flinches just a little bit, and it triggers Chase, and he starts to move while the gate is still up, like a hair of a second before the actual gate went down. So his wheel gets stuck. He has to back up, go back, and then accelerate again. So immediately he's the last one through the gate. So upsetting because we don't really see it very often, especially in the pro top league. I mean, some people have better starts than others, and people have been working on their starts. But I was like, oh my gosh, especially also Chase, because last weekend he didn't have the best race, or not. He didn't have the race maybe that he wanted as the first race of the season with the new team. So I was hoping he would have a little bit of a redemption this week. He ended up having a little bit of a redemption because he ended up starting last, and then he ended up finishing fourth, which is an excellent race at the end. We did have some beautiful racing at the beginning between Ken Rakshan, Eli Tomac. They had they were so close. Then Hunter Lawrence came into the mix.
Too, yeah.
Exactly. And then Ken was leading. Then Eli eventually took the lead. They went back and forth a little bit. Then Ken lost the position to Eli, then Hunter, and they were going back and forth. And then, of course, us as Ken Rakshan fans who were just yelling for Ken to either go faster or for Hunter to occupy Eli so Kenny could come and join the fight again. But he even said during his post-race interview, there was this portion mid-moto where he just kind of lost the flow a little bit, which is just such a bummer. But I mean,
it happens.
You just lose the time, and it's hard to make the time up, especially I think as you get towards the end of the race, because the track just deteriorates so much. And of course, you're also exhausted from just the race itself. So at the end, Eli Tomac came in for his second win of the season. Hunter Lawrence came in second. He ended up getting the whole shot as well. And then Ken Rakshan came in third.
Yes. I'm going to go back a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, because I went through it all.
So I think this is something that I think has been a theme for a little while now, is that Chase has so much potential, but he is very error prone recently. And I think that it was last year very much a theme, the year before when we started watching, it was a theme because he is really fast. And I think he would have probably been able to fight for a podium if he would have not had to take a lot of time and energy to make it all the way to fourth, because he ended up making it fourth, and then there were still I would say maybe 10 minutes to go, but I'm sure you also gassed at that point, right?
Yeah.
There ended up being then a gap, and that ended up extending between 3 and 4. And it's just and of course, then at some point you have to go through the traffic and stuff like that, because they do catch up quite quickly on the backfield of it.
Yeah.
But it is this thing where it's if he can really narrow in on that and just like stay focused, because like last week the mistakes that he had, and he had multiple mistakes, they all seemed avoidable. It's not where it's like, oh, you got either caught up in a sauce or you were kind of like Malcolm, who fortunately was back this
yes.
week. You were just like a casualty in an unfortunate situation. It's just like, it seems a lot on him. I don't know if there's a lot of pressure coming from his side too, because like you see this transition from Eli going from one team to another, and he's winning back to back, right? And I'm super excited. And it seems like Chase has switched teams like 3 times within the last couple of years, right? And it's like, and it seems like he's not all focused, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's pressure that he puts on himself. I think there is, because he's obviously a champion and he wants to be a champion again. But even like going into the season that we watched for the first time, Chase was the champion, and it was a lot of error prone. Even though Jet was error prone too, Jet was a lot more dominant, you know?
Yeah, it was just the consistency.
Yeah, the
is
consistency.
Missing. There's because he has the pace clearly.
He's super fast.
But yeah, he just makes mistakes, and those mistakes just cost him so much.
Yeah,
I'm happy to
when
see
everyone is performing right here, right?
Yeah,
at the
I mean,
top.
because the top ones, you're not allowed to make those many mistakes, or even a mistake, because if you want to be the top and if you want to win, then you have to make the least mistakes possible.
I think Eli, the last 2 races, from what I've seen, it was essentially almost errorless.
Yeah.
You know, there was like, I think there was one situation yesterday that maybe cost him like half a second or something. But other than that, he's been fantastic.
Yeah.
And you can't really help but root for the guy. At least like I do like Eli quite a lot, even though I want to see, especially next week when we're there, I want to see Kenny on the top step.
If Kenny wins next week,
think when
we're getting tattoos.
No,
we're not.
That joke.
I know.
I think when we went to see the Triple Crown event, he won one of the races.
I think so.
And I can't remember if he won overall, Kenny, but it's like, I would love to see it because we know he has the potential.
Yeah.
It's always a little bit, I feel like the last third of the race is, I think it seems like Kenny's weakest sometimes. I don't know if he's running out of gas, or once he's out of rhythm, he's sometimes hard.
I'm sure it's hard to get back into the rhythm, because
100%.
there's such a, it seems like, flow that you have
100%.
to have with these tracks for the rhythm section, the whoops, and once you're just off it a little bit, I'm sure it takes time to get back into it.
I think in general, like, track racing is very much a flow. Even if you're like on a road track, it's like, if you are in the flow, you're just like going through it. And I could imagine that with Supercross, it's just like another step up, because you're jumping, right?
I know. But I'm also, okay, so very quickly, that jump through the finish line into like on the track again is so cool. Oh, it was in San Diego, at least, because it just seemed like such a massive jump.
I mean, they get air, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. And I was talking about it yesterday too. Like, I would love to just go on a dirt bike track one day and just experience it. Obviously not to the level that those guys are doing it, but just like riding on a dirt track,
like one hoop,
like a couple of little like hills, you know, just to have kind of like an idea of what the experience is like, because it just looks like so much fun.
It does.
And badass. And I also I don't mind the aspect of like getting dirty and muddy.
Oh, I hate that.
Doing it.
I'm not gonna do that then.
Shut up. But I think it's so fun. But I mean, I think it was a great second weekend of racing. We had some things to be upset about, some things to celebrate.
Which is like the perfect racing weekend, right? You want to be passionate about things, right?
Exactly. So it was a fun race, or both races were enjoyable to watch. Has me excited for next weekend, of course, because we're going to be there for it, but also just in general. And we'll see how Anaheim 2 will go for all these gents. Currently, overall riders for the 450, Eli is leading with 50 points.
Yeah, perfect score so far.
Yeah, and then Ken is second with 42. Funter followed closely by Hunter Lawrence with 40 points.
Lawrence brother Funter Lawrence.
I was like, followed by Hunter. I was getting ahead of my brain. But yeah, so those three we have in a top, and then Chase is fourth with 32 points.
I think it's still everything is to play for, right?
Exactly.
He just needs to zone in.
Yes.
And we want him to.
Yes.
Like, this is, like, I'm saying these things and obviously sound critical, and it is, right? But it's like, I want him to do well because I do like Chase.
Yeah.
I think you like Chase a little bit more than I do.
But I'm rooting because I would love it to be a very competitive season.
Yeah,
because obviously it's early on, like we've been saying, but there's a bunch of people that I think could compete. We have at least, I would say we have 5 people maybe that can compete for the championship, which I think could be really fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
Obviously it depends on how injuries and things, whatever happens. I'm also hoping for a rain race one of these days.
Yes, but not next week.
No, it's not going to rain here.
No rain. This is California.
Maybe when they go up to Seattle or something like that. But that would be really fun because the rain race last year was insane.
Yeah,
or the big one that we had.
The ruts.
Yes. It was upsetting for us because Ken ended up losing a bunch of positions and Cooper Webb won. But I think it's just a fun thing to see.
100%. So I'd say now we're going to move on to the Dakar.
Yeah, I think that's it.